Picture this. It's a typical day in the 1990s at the FBI headquarters when suddenly the phone rings. A mundane sound in the labyrinth of law enforcement. But this call, it was anything but ordinary. On the other end of the line, a voice, youthful and brimming with audacity, claims to be a hacker. He's not just any hacker, mind you, but one who has managed to infiltrate the FBI's own phone system. The voice is calm, the words measured, the tone almost nonchalant, as if it were just another day at the office for this digital intruder. Imagine the astonishment that must have swept the room. Here was a teenager with the audacity to tap into the FBI's main line. Now, in the world of law enforcement, a breach of this magnitude is no small deal. But the audacity to dial the agency's main line, that's next level. So how did he do it? Well, our young hacker was keen on exploring the world of phreaking, a subset of hacking that focuses on manipulating and exploiting telecommunication systems. With a blend of technical know-how, chutzpah, and a dash of rebellious teenage spirit, he managed to bypass the FBI's security protocols, worming his way into their phone system. The FBI, known for their steely resolve and unflappable demeanor, found themselves at the mercy of a voice barely out of high school. But instead of threats or chaos, all the hacker wanted was to show off his skills, to prove that he could do it. It was less a malicious attack and more a daring display of technical prowess. And that's how the FBI came face to face, or rather ear to ear, with one of the most audacious hackers of the time. A teenager who, instead of spending his time on homework or video games, decided to dial up the FBI just to say hello. A mysterious call that would set the stage for one of the most unusual stories in the annals of cybercrime. So what did this hacker want? To spread chaos or demand a hefty ransom? Well, you might be surprised to hear that our teenage hacker's intentions were far from malevolent. No, this wasn't about causing pandemonium or snatching a quick payday. His motive was simpler, yet audacious. He simply wanted to showcase his skills. Picture this, a young tech enthusiast, his fingers dancing on the keyboard, his mind racing with the complex codes and algorithms that had become his second language. He didn't have a sinister plan or a malicious agenda. All he wanted was to demonstrate his prowess, to prove that he could crack the code, quite literally, of one of the most secure organizations in the world. In an era where hacking was often associated with dark motives, this teenager was different. He was a virtuoso in a symphony of codes, a maestro conducting the rhythm of the digital world. His audacity was not in causing harm, but in daring to believe in his abilities, in daring to test the limits of what a teenager with a computer could do. And what a test it was, dialing into the FBI, not to wreak havoc, but to say, in essence, hey, look what I can do. It's like a kid showing off a new toy, except this toy was his extraordinary talent, and his playground was the digital landscape. This hacker, you see, was no villain. He was a prodigy, a tech enthusiast, a young mind navigating the complex world of codes and systems. His audacity lay not in a desire to do harm, but in his confidence, his belief in his abilities, his desire to push the boundaries of what was deemed possible. So, as we delve deeper into this fascinating story, let's remember that not all hackers fit the stereotypical mold. Some, like our teenage hacker, are just looking to make their mark, to prove their worth, to say, I was here and I made a difference. Turns out our teenage hacker just wanted a little recognition for his talents. Now, you'd expect the FBI to be alarmed, right? That's the normal reaction when someone breaches your defenses, especially if you're a federal security agency. But in this case, things took an unexpected turn. Imagine the scene. The phone rings at the FBI headquarters. They pick up, and a teenage voice on the other end of the line says, "Hi, I've just dialed into your phone system." The initial reaction was, of course, shock and surprise. Here was an intruder who had just waltzed into their security system, bypassed all their defenses, and was now having a casual chat with them. But as they listened to the young hacker, their shock turned into something else. It was a mixture of awe and respect. The audacity of the act was one thing, but the fact that a teenager had managed to outsmart a sophisticated security system was quite another. It was like watching a magician pull off an impossible trick. They were dealing with a formidable talent, and they knew it. The hacker wasn't causing chaos. He wasn't demanding ransom. He was simply showcasing his skills. He had broken through their defenses not to harm, but to highlight the vulnerabilities. This was no ordinary phone call. This was a wake-up call. the FBI agents found themselves not just impressed, but intrigued. Here was a young mind that had just outwitted their best defenses. He wasn't a threat, he was an opportunity. A golden opportunity to strengthen their cybersecurity, to learn from him, and to potentially prevent future breaches. So, instead of launching a manhunt, they decided to do something unprecedented. They saw beyond the breach, beyond the shock, and looked at the potential. They saw a talented hacker who could be a valuable asset. And so, instead of pressing charges, the FBI saw an opportunity. Who would have thought that a teenage hacker's audacious act would lead to this? The FBI, having been impressed by the hacker's skills, made a decision that was as unconventional as it was unexpected. They saw potential, and rather than punishing the young hacker, they decided to tap into his talent. In a move that surprised everyone, the FBI offered the hacker a job. Not just any job, mind you, but a position as a cybersecurity expert. That's right, they wanted him to use his knack for hacking to help protect the nation's digital infrastructure. The very people he had playfully hoodwinked were now asking him to join their ranks. The hacker was taken aback, to say the least. He dialed the FBI as a dare, a test of his skills, never anticipating that it would land him a job offer. Imagine his surprise when he realized that his audacious act had caught the attention of the Bureau in a way he'd never expected. There was a pause, a moment of consideration. It was a crossroads. The teenager could have continued down the path of mischief and mayhem, but instead, he saw an opportunity, a chance to turn his skills into something positive, something that could make a real difference. With a mix of disbelief and excitement, he accepted the offer. His journey from rogue hacker to cybersecurity expert had begun. He traded his late-night hacking escapades for a desk at the FBI, his anonymity for a badge. His world shifted from the shadows of the internet into the corridors of power, his skills now used to safeguard rather than disrupt. This was an offer that didn't just change the trajectory of one teenager's life, but also showed the world that sometimes those on the unconventional path can find their place in the most unexpected of ways. And just like that, our hacker went from dialing the FBI to working for them. So what happened next? Did our hacker accept the offer? You bet he did. Swapping his clandestine operations for a legit professional life was a no-brainer. This once teenage prankster was now on the path to becoming a cybersecurity expert. His transition was not without its challenges, though. Imagine going from a world of mischief and thrill to the buttoned-up culture of the Federal Bureau of Investigation. It was like swapping the Wild West for a desk job. But our hacker was not just any other teenager. He was a prodigy who had managed to outsmart one of the most formidable security systems in the world. He was ready to take on this new challenge. His contributions to the FBI were immense. He brought a fresh, unorthodox perspective to the agency's cybersecurity efforts. His unique skills, honed through years of hacking, were invaluable in identifying vulnerabilities and strengthening the FBI's defenses. He helped shape the FBI's approach to cybersecurity at a time when the digital landscape was rapidly evolving. Our hacker became a vital asset to the agency. His insights were not just limited to technological aspects. He also helped the FBI understand the mindset of a hacker. This knowledge proved crucial in their efforts to combat cybercrime. His story is a classic tale of redemption. He went from being a mischievous teenager who hacked for kicks to a respected professional safeguarding the nation's security. His life took a dramatic turn, all because he dared to dial the FBI. His journey is not just a personal victory, but also a testament to the transformative power of opportunity. By embracing his unique talents, he was able to turn his life around and contribute positively to society. Our hacker's story serves as a reminder that every cloud has a silver lining. So, what can we learn from this unusual tale? Our story is one of intrigue and surprise, set in the 1990s, a time when the internet was still a relatively new frontier. A teenage hacker, armed with nothing more than a computer and a modem, demonstrated his skill by breaking into the FBI's phone system and dialing their main line. It's almost like a scene from a blockbuster movie, isn't it? But this was very real. When the FBI answered, instead of hearing threats or demands, they were met with a young voice, eager to showcase his abilities. The hacker hadn't broken in to wreak havoc or demand ransom, but just to display his skills. A bold move, wouldn't you say? Now here's where the story takes a twist. Instead of slapping the hacker with charges, the FBI, impressed by his abilities, offered him a job. That's right. The hacker who dared to dial the FBI ended up working for them, turning his skills to good use as a cybersecurity expert. This story, as remarkable as it is, underscores an important lesson: the capacity to turn negative situations into positive ones. It's about seeing potential where others see problems. It's about harnessing abilities, even those that might initially seem disruptive or harmful, and channeling them into something constructive. In this case, a young hacker turned his talents from potential chaos to cybersecurity, from a potential threat to an asset. It's a story of transformation and redemption, of a negative becoming a positive. A story of how even a seemingly negative situation can be turned around and used for good. So, the next time you hear about a hacker, don't immediately jump to conclusions. Not all hackers are out to cause harm. Some, like our teenage prodigy, might just have a knack for problem solving and could be looking for an opportunity to put their skills to good use. Remember, not all hackers are out to cause harm. Some might just surprise you. Well, that's quite a tale, isn't it? A teenage hacker dialing directly into the FBI's phone system just to show off his skills. Not to wreak havoc or demand a ransom, but merely to display his prowess. And the plot twist: instead of facing charges, he lands a job with the FBI, turning his knack for hacking into a force for good. In the early 90s, when the internet was still a fledgling marvel and cybersecurity a nascent field, this audacious teen had the audacity to do what others might consider unthinkable. His actions, though unconventional, were a testament to his impressive skills and the potential that lay within him. The FBI, rather than punishing him, saw this potential and decided to harness it, thereby transforming a potential threat into an asset. They recognized the hacker's abilities and chose to channel them into strengthening their cybersecurity efforts, from dialing the FBI to working for them as a cybersecurity expert. It's a story that sounds straight out of a Hollywood script, yet it's as real as it gets. It's a reminder that even in the most unexpected circumstances, there can be surprising outcomes. What do you think about this turn of events? Do you think the FBI made the right call in offering him a job? Or do you believe they should have taken a different course of action? We'd love to hear your thoughts on the matter. The comment section is open for your insights and opinions. This story also serves as a reminder that hackers aren't always the villains they're often portrayed to be. They can be individuals with a deep understanding of systems and networks, whose skills, if guided in the right direction, can be used for the greater good. Thanks for tuning in. Don't forget to subscribe for more fascinating tales like this one. Until next time, stay curious and keep exploring.